He was a real kind of one-off Australian.
Passionate,
unpretentious,
enthusiastic,
charismatic,
and hairy-kneed.
and a larrikin.
A larrikin in Australia is like a knockabout Aussie who kind of goes, take a look at this, Struth, crikey.
Did you hear that? Go, go, go!
He was an action man. He was an adventurer.
He was the celebrity as far as wildlife is concerned.
an ambassador for reptiles.
Go, mate. Go, fella. Woo! Great work, team. Very, very good. How's that? Crikey. All right. You.
He died as he had lived, out in the wild, face to face with deadly creatures, a TV camera filming what promised to be another extraordinary performance by a natural showman. But this time, Steve Irwin's luck ran out. Speared by the poisonous barb of a giant stingray, he lost consciousness and died at the age of 44, leaving his wife, Terry, and 2 young children.
I've been with divers who stepped on him and it done half hurt, but it didn't kill them, and he got it straight in the heart.
It was such a freak accident. Only 17 people have ever been killed by stingrays in the whole of human history.
His death has shocked the world, nowhere more so than his native Australia. An unprecedented display of grief, a carpet of bouquets laid at the place he came to symbolise, Australia Zoo in Queensland, Eastern Australia.
He was a good man, and we've lost something very precious.
There's been a national outpouring of grief in Australia, you know, and we're not known for being sentimental or overly emotional, especially the blokes.
When I heard it, and I was sitting up with my computer just up there quite early in the morning, it came to from the press in Australia, I cried, you know, because we've lost a champion, a real champion.
It was like Australia's Princess Diana moment when Steve Irwin suddenly died. I think it was the shock of the way he died.
Who is going to fill that void?
This tribute to Steve is a celebration of his life and work.
But this is Kira. She is so pretty. And she's an Australian dingo. Woo! You little beauty!
Stephen Robert Irwin was born in 1962 in Melbourne. Here he tells the story of his early life.
My mum and dad were childhood sweethearts. My mum was a maternity nurse who had a passion for saving wildlife, and my dad was a plumber who had a passion for reptiles. In 1970, they pulled up roots down in Melbourne, and we all came up here as a family, built the Biawar Reptile Park. Our house, my dad built in 72, because we lived in a caravan, was full of joey kangaroos and koalas and snakes. You know, I even had snakes in my room. It was great. It was hard times, though, you know, in the 70s. Tourism wasn't that big, and crocodiles and snakes weren't something that everyone was keen to look at. They were more inclined to be shot. And at that stage, Dad had this real burning passion for crocs, and so did I. You know, he'd had me out there jumping crocs from when I was 9 years of age. So he joined the East Coast Crocodile Management Program, and he sent me up as a young bloke up into North Queensland to catch problem, rogue or nuisance crocs. And that was absolutely the most incredible time of my entire life. Running around up in North Queensland, catching all these crocodiles and re-releasing them and bringing them back down to the zoo.
And here we are back at the Queensland Reptile and Fauna Park with 2 crocodiles.
In 1970, his father Bob opened the small Queensland Reptile and Fauna Park, which he eventually gifted to his son. Steve grew the family business into the hugely popular and successful Australia Zoo.
You know, his mum and dad started the Australia Zoo, and he's kind of carrying on the work of his mum and dad. He is, you know, he was a guy that was really believed in that stuff.
As our wildlife conservation message gets rolling around the world, so do patrons coming to Australia Zoo. We're increasing at a rapid rate. As you can see, we've gone from 4 acres way back in 1970 to 250 acres. We're expanding really, really quickly. So's our conservation message. But you know what? I've still got the best team in the world. Have a look at this little beauty. Woohoo!
I hate animals because I went out with so many as a teenager, obviously. But watching Steve Irwin's programs, he did teach me to love animals and respect them. So he was a very powerful communicator.
Crikey, here we are at the world's most venomous snakes, live with my old mate Wes.
Oh, hey, mate.
Mr. Hollywood. Whoa, let me go. They're both hungry. Now, these are the most venomous snakes in the entire world. Nothing has a more potent venom in the snake world than these.
He lived and breathed for his TV show, and without doubt he changed the face of wildlife programming with a brashness that said, "Watch me."
Here we go.
It was all action. It was Batman, it was Superman, it was Spider-Man, and the kids relate to that. And he got on with it, and he explained the science and why he was doing it.
Well, in the zoo industry, cassowaries have got quite a big reputation as being an animal that can inflict a fatal injury, whack, so hard and fast that all of your gizzards and guts fall out on the ground before you even know that you've been hit. On the inside, they've got 3 toes, and on the inside toe, they've got a dagger, which can just, it's like a razor blade. It's like getting hit by a razor blade. You feel a thump, and then everything just falls out.
Oh, his trademark sartorial ensemble with a khaki shirt and shorts. And the shorts were always just a little bit too short, a little bit too tight. We call them in Australia budgie smugglers, because they don't leave much to the imagination.
I think when I first met Steve Irwin, the thing I'll always remember is the fact that he was at the TV Awards at the Royal Albert Hall.
G'day, Trevor. How are you, mate? I'm all right, mate.
And everyone was dressed up in their best bib and tucker and their sort of tuxes. He turned up in his Aussie sort of bush shorts and his Aussie shirt, and it was like, "G'day, I've come all the way from Australia."
Thanks very much for inviting me over here and involving me in some of the finest television in the world. Woo-hoo!
All these British sort of slightly stitched up TV types are going, "Oh my goodness me, what the hell is that and what's he on?"
He was the celebrity as far as wildlife is concerned. He knew his stuff, he punched it out, and he was a showman of the best sort. Wow.
He was a real hands-on presenter. I mean, I've worked with presenters when I was doing kids' TV. I believe that you got down with the dog, got down with the sheep, got there with the cameraman, all get a bit dirty, see what you're talking about, bring it up close to your face. And I think that's what it's all about.
Come with me. Watch this. How's that? He's grumpy, isn't he? See if I can get you right inside there, will I?
He was action man, really, and a lot of the younger generation enjoyed that. You never knew what was going to happen.
You're all right, sweetheart. Whoa, 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 whoa. Settle down. Settle down.
It was all adventure. It was all fast-moving. It was a drama. Each different show was a bit of a drama. And, you know, us human beings really, secretly, if we all admit it, really wanted something to happen. You know, they really wanted Steve to get bitten by the snake. They really wanted him to get bitten by the crocodile.
Oh, crikey. She's really upset. Geez, they've got a great set of teeth.
I think the way I'll always remember Steve Irwin, and I was lucky enough to meet him a couple of times, is just this kind of over-the-top, larger-than-life character, literally bouncing out of your TV. Steve Irwin didn't need high-definition television to be able to jump out of that TV right across your lounge room and go, "Oi, look at this, have a look."
We only bring males and females together for mating. They're super territorial, and if we leave them together, they'll rip each other apart. I have to keep him away from the fence. He could try and get over it and really hurt himself in the process. Got him, but we're going to need backup.
He was like a grown-up kid. He was like a giant kid, which is why, you know, children related to him so well, because, well, he was one.
We're setting up a raid on a new nest of crocodile eggs in a territory dominated by Acco.
Steve was a showman, but the natural history shows at that time, they needed somebody like him. He took it by the scruff of the neck. He got a whole generation of children interested in crocodiles, snakes and lizards. He wasn't dealing with ooh-ah animals like bears and pandas. He excited people about the creatures that he was passionate about, snakes and creepy crawlies. first film sequence I ever saw of him. He was with a fierce snake.
Woo! Here we go.
It's found in northern Australia. It is the most toxic snake in the world.
Ho!
And this guy was laying on his tummy. The fierce snake was coming right towards his face, stopped an inch away from his nose, and he didn't flinch.
Just think, his fangs contain enough venom to kill 100 men. And this is not the first time I've come this close, but I'm nervous all the same.
And when I saw that, I realised we really had a remarkable wildlife personality.
What made his presenting style so addictive was that the lack of pretension. You know, a lot of these environmentalists who have, you know, television shows, they've been at Oxford for so long, they've got ivy growing up the backs of their legs. Well, Steve Irwin did not graduate in advanced smugness.
And he's a big one.
Heads up over here. Big guy, hit it.
When David Attenborough, as brilliant as he is, it's very detached. And he's saying to us, look at this interesting species of crocodile. Whereas, Steve Irwin would have that croc in a headlock, and it was riveting because it was just so unpredictable and exciting.
With these blokes, you can actually get in the water, but only the experts should try this.
Hey, little fella.
He just wants to get away, and he'll fight to do it. Okay, did you see that? How quick was that? Real quick. Look at this. This would be an adult male.
Oh, that's definitely an adult male stuff.
We got another one?
He was extremely knowledgeable and he knew exactly how snakes and crocodiles behaved. So what most people considered reckless, to Steve, it was just playing around with the animals that he loved.
Yeah, I see you, naughty. I see you, naughty boy. I see you. Can you get around and get another top jaw rape, Rhino? Quick.